Hello everyone, welcome here on GliiderTV. This is Scruffle again, and today we will be reviewing and doing a spoiler review discussion about Stranger Things Season 3. So that's what we're going to basically go over today, and Ruben is going to give his side and opinions and our own discussions, kind of like the other Spider-Man review if y'all watched that one. So we shall get started mainly on what we liked about this season. So I'll start off. And I want to say that after watching these episodes, it's like there was more of a build up to each of the episodes. I know that it's better than season 2 in my opinion, because season 1 it had the same thing, building up at a really good pace, and it wasn't all over the place. So this season was really well thought out, because after season 2 I didn't think of what they were gonna do with this season, mainly because 11 closed the portal in season 2. So with this season, I was just kind of I couldn't think of any theories that could happen for this season, but whatever, or in the episodes that played out, it was kind of creative in a sort of way. But I'll get back to that in the explanations on why I liked it. So now it's Ruben's side on what you want to talk about.
Yeah, for me it was definitely better than season 2. Coming out of season 2, I enjoyed it, but it felt a little forgettable. I know the main threat in season 2 was the smoke monster, that giant smoke monster, threatening to, I guess, come into the real world. And then season 3 is essentially this threat materializing. This season was much better. All the different story arcs that went on with all the main characters, secondary characters were really good. They were all really enjoyable. The new characters that they brought in, the white girl and the little black girl, they were both fun. They added a lot of humor to the that storyline with what's the guy's name? Steve Harrington. Yeah, him, and his stuff was fun. It was really cool. All the story arcs. 11's arc with God, his name escapes me. What?
Hop?
No, well, Hop, but also her boyfriend, Michael. Their thing was kind of cute. It was kind of awkward and funny, and throughout the first couple episodes. But overall, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I guess really my only dislike, or maybe it's not much of a dislike, more of a just I don't know if I maybe came out a little confused as to why. Well, we'll get into it into the spoilers actually, because it's a bit of a spoiler. But overall, I really enjoyed this one.
All right, so now in this video we're going to be talking about the spoilers of the episodes of the season. So if you haven't watched it, please leave, because me and Ruben don't want to ruin it for you. So leave right now and give you 3 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, here we go. So the main thing that I liked about this season is that we got to see, the main characters like Dustin be with Steve, one of the, I guess what are they called? He's not a side character, he's kind of one of the main ones.
A mentor slash
Yeah. Because the thing I really like, because in season 2, you see Steve being with the kids, and he's like a parent figure to them. And then Dustin, when all his friends, basically he felt he was left alone, Steve was there, and then they got to be together throughout the whole season. I thought that was really cool that they got to let us see what these two characters will be like together. And then also how 11 will be with Mike and Max, and seeing Max and 11 kind of actually have their own bromance, sistermance, I don't know. But seeing that, it was really cool, and it made me really happy that they were they were really taking their time building these characters, and like making them like, you know, like fun to like see and watch. And especially, what's his face? The one with the sister, the black one. Forgot his name.
The sister's name's Erica.
Yeah, there we go. I liked her character.
Oh, Lucas.
There we go, Lucas.
Lucas and Erica.
Yeah, Lucas's sister was probably like, she was like the little highlights in each episode because she's like really, really funny. And she has like certain parts where she kind of like, I guess like takes over. Well, not really like takes over, but she kind of like steps up and, you know, like you just like see her acting, you know how she is, and like, I don't know. I just thought she was like a really fun side character to be in there. And the other side character that was with Steve in the ice cream scoop shop, the Scoop Ahoy or something.
Dang, what was her name? Hold on, I got it.
It was Robin. That was her name.
Robin, yeah, Robin.
Yeah, Robin was another like fun side character because like she's one of the ones that are like really like tough on you, and they're like really like mean, but she was like really funny.
Outcast type of character.
Yeah, she was like really funny. And that's what I like, that they showed that they were taking the time to show each character on this particular season. And then seeing Joyce and Hopper team up with that other dude Murray, like to help with like the mission to close the portal by like, you know, dealing with the Russians and stuff. So yeah, like everything in this season was like well thought of, and that's what I like really liked. And also during the season I kept like trying to find like, you know, like how in rooms they have like poster boards or whatever, and like there's like certain things in the background that like are like foreshadowing some stuff.
Yeah.
But while they were playing Dungeons and Dragons, they were like zombie whatever, and I was just like, oh, that's like a foreshadow that like there could be like, you know, like people who are, you know, zombies. And
they weren't exactly zombies. It was more just like a mind control type of thing. But that was another. Each season has had that, right? Foreshadowing through the Dungeons and Dragons.
Because like in season 1, it was the first game of the Demogorgon, and at the very last episode, it was the Shadow Monster, because it had like
Tessel Hydra or whatever.
Yeah, that's there what we go. And then this is what I liked about this season, is that like when they introduce the Flayers or whatever, that like each person, like if they, you know, like get destroyed, they like melt and like combine together to make like a big monster. I'm just like, wow, so they're probably gonna like try to get like the whole city to make this big huge monster so that like 11 won't kill him.
The monster, the flayed and all that, it reminded me of the Flood from Halo in a way, because like in Halo it's basically one hive mind or a grave mind that controls all the other ones.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, they're trying to get as many bodies into the I guess the hive mind as they can to control everything. That was a cool parallel. As far as the things I really enjoyed, I really liked 11 and Maxine's moments, like whenever Maxine is trying to like get 11 to kind of like live on her own, like get away from Mike, and she ends up convincing him, or Maxine convinces 11 to end up like dumping Mike, because she like kind of manipulates 11 into thinking that he's treating her like garbage or something. And since 11 is so gullible, like this whole world is new to her, like she kind of just goes with it. Yeah. But you can tell like deep down she still really cares about him. And
like the funniest scene with them two was when she was like, you need to give Mike a taste of his own medicine, and 11 was like, give him medicine. I thought that was funny.
And then like the whole Hopper trying to like get them to stop kissing because it's getting really awkward.
Yeah.
Hop goes to talk to Miss Byers to try to get some advice, and she gives him advice, and then he acts on it, but he doesn't even go with the plan. He kind of just like goes off on Mike, and that starts the whole breakup process.
Yeah, so. Mike was being a jerk to him. He was just like, he was like right there. But it was funny how like when Mike wasn't with 11, that like Hop, you just see him in the car having a good time driving. He's like singing or whatever.
He's really enjoying the freedom of not having to worry about them.
And then the other scene when Max is doing a sleepover with 11, and Hopper, he's all drunk, and he like says, "What I say about the 3 inches?" He walks in, and
3-inch rule.
Yeah, and then 11 is like, "Max is here for a sleepover. Is that okay?" And then he was like, yeah. And he goes, sits down, like turns on the TV, starts getting another beer and like drinking, and then looking at the door and smiling and being like, yeah.
He knows his plan worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
And I think when I think like in the future, when I think back on this season, I think this season is definitely going to stick out as Hopper's season. Like he was like one of the main like standouts for sure. Like him being like the father figure to 11, but also with what happens at the end where he goes missing. It doesn't really confirm that he dies, but you're kind of made to believe that he dies, and then
it made me cry. especially the scene when, you know, like what's her face, Joyce is about to like turn the keys, and she knows he's gonna die because of the arc reactor or whatever, and then like you see everyone like go in like ashes or something because of like all that stuff, and I'm just thinking like, wow, like he could be dead. And then, you know, Joyce goes outside, Will is outside, they like come and hug, and then the camera pans to 11. She's like searching like for Hopper, and that scene made me cry because she looked like a lost puppy, and oh my god, like I just started bawling, and I was just like, oh no. And
yeah, that was like, even before she turned the key, like Hop is looking back at her, like kind of just giving her the okay to do it. But before that, if you notice, he looks at the portal and kind of like, there was like a little moment of him looking at the portal, like maybe he walked through it, because it never shows him actually dying or whatever. Like he doesn't die on screen, so it's possible that he took the only option he had and to survive maybe, and just went through the portal. Because then at the very end, you know how they go to the Russian base?
Yeah, end credit scene. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, there's an end credit scene. That takes place in Russia, I believe.
Yes.
It's like a Russian base, and there's these 2 guards that walk up to these cells, and the guard is about to open one cell.
No, not the American.
Yeah, so they say not the American, and then they move on to a different one. But that's making me believe that maybe that scene took place in the future, after Hopper went through the Upside Down, and maybe somehow he escaped and ended up in Russia, or they captured him, but it's never really confirmed. But we know that thread is still there, because they're feeding a Demogorgon for whatever reason.
Yeah, at the very end, they basically throw this dude in a cell, and they open a little door, and it's a little Demodog. Well,
it was a dog, or was it the big one?
It was, because I thought it was a dog, but then it stood up.
Yeah.
It stood up, and like, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, I don't even know, like, what's gonna happen. I can't even think of any theories.
Yeah, well, that, like, the whole Russian thing is what brings me to my negative, I guess, or just confusion about this season. Maybe I didn't catch it or wasn't paying attention. Why were the Russians trying to open the portal? Like, what was their whole motive behind it? Because, like, in the very beginning, like, the Russian captains make it known that, if you fail at this, we're going to kill you if you fail at designing this machine. Like, so they really want to, like, design this machine to open the portal, but it's never really explained why, unless that's something that's going to go on in the next season. They explain that later. Because,
like, what I was telling Janet was, like, what if, like the Russians are like made that machine, and like, you know, like in Russia they have that demo dog, but like what if they're trying like create something bigger to like use against like the world?
Maybe they're planning some mass genocide with alien monsters. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then also another thing that confused me is, where did the smoke monster come from in the beginning? So I assume that after the Russians, you know how it like went 1 year later and then the machine was built and they were firing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did the smoke monster come out of the portal that they made, or did it just materialize? Because I know one episode they mentioned that whenever in the second season it escapes Will, that it kind of just went away.
Oh, and it flies away.
It flies away, but nothing happens. Like, it just goes in hiding or something. And then, is it that by the Russians reopening the portal, it gave the monster its power to like
feed
start
on people?
something?
Yeah.
That's one thing I was confused about, because then whenever at the very end when they're fighting the monster in the mall, and then they shut the portal and then the monster just dies. Like, so was its power linked to the portal being active?
Maybe it was linked to the portal. I remember in the episodes, I think it was Lucas was talking about something because like when they killed the first one, well, not the first one, the second one, the shadow monster, they were like basically explaining that like when you like kill something, like some other chemical forms or whatever, that makes like something brand new. I forgot what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, what was the deal with the chemicals? Like, why was the old lady eating the fertilizer and like all that stuff?
I don't know. That's another thing I was confused about. That's the only thing I didn't like, because they never like said anything.
They
like
never
what those were
explained
for.
the chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's weird. I mean, everything else I get, like why they were mind controlling people, that way the monster could use their matter to like get bigger.
Yeah.
But as far as the chemicals, I don't know.
Because like, I don't know if you remember, I think it was episode 2 or 3, but Billy, he goes in the locker room where the chemicals are at the pool area, and you see him put down one of the chemical bottles because he went like you just see his arm go from here to here. So I'm just thinking like, oh, he's like, drinking those chemicals.
But why?
I don't know. Hopefully in the next season they say something, but I doubt it. But also, in this season they also show Billy's background. And I really thought it was, like, nice that they did that. Because, like, Billy, he's, like, the tough macho man. What's it called? And then, like, 11 goes and, like, see his past and, like, how
he kind of became, like, hardened by his childhood, by his dad, like, being mean to them. Yeah.
And then, like, it was, like, something to do with his mom. And then, like, he cared about his mom a lot when they were, like, back in California. And, like, they got a divorce or something because the husband was, like, beating his wife, I think. And once they got a divorce, Billy couldn't see his mom anymore. And that's when, like, when Billy was younger, he was, like, starting to be bad and, like, acting like his dad. And that's when, you know, Maxine was introduced into the picture to like Billy, this is your little sister. Yeah, and then like towards the last episode, you know, with like 11 like telling him like that your mom was like really pretty and you told her that the wave was 7 feet or whatever, and like so it really like struck something in him that like made him want to save 11. And I thought it was cool because like once the monster like lashed like his I guess like his mouth to like go to 11, he just like stops it right there. And when that happened, I'm just like, oh, I started crying, and then like you just see like the monster like coming out like on the sides going or whatever, and then you just see
that was pretty brutal.
It was, and then you see Max in the background just watching him die or whatever, and like it was cool. Like his acting was really well, because when he was holding it, he was doing one of those like big screams, and like it sounded like I guess like really like a heroic moment, to where it was like kind of like emotional in a sort of way. And I know it was emotional because it got me, and I started crying. Because like, you know, Max went to Billy when he was like laying on the floor after the monster like reached in his like chest, and you know, it kind of reminded me of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I really liked that Billy was one of the characters that everyone hated because he was like all mean, but at the very end everyone liked him because how he saved Eleven's life.
And what about Miss Byers? What's her name? What's her first name?
Joyce.
And this season and the last season she's lost somebody that she loves. And last season and second season she lost Ben, I think his name was.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the Hobbit or one of the Hobbits.
Sam. Or something.
Yeah, and he was a really fun character too, and then he died. And now Hopper, one of the bigger characters, is gone. And she's so by her losing Hopper, it basically solidified her decision to move away, like to like move at the end of at the very last episode, which leads to another big emotional scene with all the kids like saying three of the kids saying goodbye to everybody.
That made me cry. That scene also made me cry, because like you see them like the camera is like slowly going like that, and you see like each character giving a hug. One of them is crying, one of them is crying over here, and I thought like that was like so emotional. And once what's his face Hopper was reading his note that 11
that was really good.
That
was really well written. The note starts out with what Joyce told him to write, and then eventually he gets to a part where he's just like screw it, or I forget what he wrote, but then he starts like writing his own words, like his own feelings, and that's where it got really, really emotional.
Yeah, because it showed because it was like 11 reading it, and you just like hear his voice in the background, like, you know, reading the whole note. And then they bring up the song Heroes, which they used in the first season on episode 4 when they found Will's body, and that triggered like an emotional hit, and I started crying because like that song is like it's like kind of like emotional and sad at the same time. And then since they were all leaving, it made it worse as like emotion, whatever. But yeah, and then like the very end of the letter was like saying something about like, and don't forget like to leave your door 3 inches or whatever. Like I was just like, oh man,
like he was giving her a lot of life lessons, and then he just threw in that joke at the end.
Man, it was so touching at the end. But like that Russian thing, it was 3 months, because like remember it said 3 months later.
Oh, okay.
So that's like probably where the next season should be. But
so the kids that left were
Will, 11,
and Jonathan Byers, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jonathan. But yeah.
And I think another thing I really enjoyed was, we touched on it, the story arc with Steve Harrington, Robin, and the Dustin and the other little girl. I really liked the dynamic between Steve and Robin. Like at first they're very playful with each other, and like Dustin tells him, like they're talking about girls or whatever, and how Dustin met the perfect one, and Dustin's kind of telling him, dude, you already have the perfect one here, and like he's like mentioning Robin, like he's kind of like pushing him towards Robin.
Yeah.
And then like throughout the whole thing, they start Robin and Steve start kind of
getting to know
each other through all this distress, and then one big scene was whenever they get injected with the truth serum, and then they start trying to escape, but at the same time they like fall over, and then they just start talking. And that was a really cool moment where like she falsely confesses, like Steve thinks she's confessing that she was obsessed with him, and that and Steve was kind of just like the douchebag in school, so he didn't ever notice her. But after she tells this whole speech, like he starts kind of like liking her, and kind of realizing like, man, this girl's actually really cool. But then later on, when they're you're kind of rooting for them at one point, because they're throwing up in the stalls.
Yeah, like throwing up all that serum.
And then Steve is kind of like he's reached the point of like telling her, you know, I think I am falling for you. But then she ends up clearing the story of her obsession with him was actually like she was obsessed with him in a negative way, because she was trying to get the attention of another girl that girl was trying to get with him or whatever.
Surprise.
So so it ends up being like a little fake out, which I wish they would have gotten together, because I really like their dynamic. But you know, it was cool that
but I liked it how they like stayed like close friends, like how in the end she's trying to help them get a job, and like how like since he's like good looking, he's gonna bring in all the like ladies in the gaming store, or whatever store that was.
Their dynamic is still there for sure. Yeah.
The other scene, like the first episodes, was like when Will was wanting to play Dungeons and Dragons, and he's, you know, all dressed up in like that.
The
like
wizard.
Yeah, there we go. The wizard.
I felt so bad for him.
Like because he was playing, he was so into it. He was like, roll the dice. What are you gonna do, Lucas? Whatever. And then like Mike and Lucas are just like not really into it. And then when the phone rings, they just like leave him or whatever. And all of that beforehand, like he's kind of like getting hints of Mike like kind of spending too much time with Eleven also, and he kind of feels like he's starting to be left out, because Lucas is also dating the redhead, and so whenever that happens, you kind of just feel really bad, because you kind of know where it's leading, where Will is kind of, you know, he's putting all this effort into their friendship, but they're not returning it. Putting in the same energy. It made me want to cry and like tear up, because like Will's like, no, forget it, and then Mike's like, we want to play, right Lucas? Yeah, we want to play. Like, shut up.
And then that scene was followed by Will like going to his little camp, his little castle, and
that
like that was a little much for me. I think that was a little overblown. Like he started like crying hardcore and like destroying his castle. Like I understand like maybe he did feel really really depressed, but like I don't know, maybe it went a little too far with destroying his castle and like all the stuff that they did in the past. Like he was just ripping stuff up and
ripping their pictures.
Yeah, it was maybe a little overdone, but it gets the point across that he really loved them as friends, and he kind of started to feel betrayed or just not loved as much.
I thought it was like good that he was taking his anger out, because like I don't know, I just thought like it was emotional how he was, you know, just like bringing down the house, and like I feel like when he was taking away like all the Dungeons and Dragons stuff, I feel like it was him saying like, I need to grow up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, that too. I guess so. Maybe it was just, for me, it was like a little too dramatic, like breaking his whole castle down and stuff, like getting the baseball bat and just starting to, a little too over dramatic. But
I think the rain made it more dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I think that's it from this season.
Yeah.
Final verdict?
Shoot. This was definitely better than the second one. About a little different than the first one because the like I was telling Ruby the other day, the first one came out by surprise, and like watching it for the first time through the first season, it was so surprising how good it was. So I feel like
unexpected too.
Unexpected, and like just you see all these characters for the first time and you fall in love with them, and I think the first season has the advantage just because of the wow factor. This season, you kind of know what to expect with all the characters. The monster, you're kind of familiar with it. Of course, they add another angle to him being able to mind control people now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, not as big of a wow factor, but still really strong. I'd probably give it a 9, like a A-.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for me, with everything I was talking about that I liked about this season and stuff, for me it's like a 9.5, so it's like a A+ to me, mainly because of like how strong the storyline was in this one, how it was like flowing very well, like one after the other. So I like really liked it a lot, better than season 2, because season 2 was kind of like mainly because of like that whole sister episode.
Yeah, that kind of went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, but comparing with like season 1, like season 1 is like here, season 3 is kind of like a little bit.
You liked it more?
There. Yeah. Like I just liked it a lot because
the production value is definitely there. It's it's bigger, like bigger scale for sure.
Yeah, the CGI was really good too. And I also like the cinematography that they had in it as well, because like it was like showing a visual of like 11 was in the eye of the storm, and you see like the clouds like rotating in the background. I'm just like, wow, that was awesome. So yeah, like that's why I give this season an A+. So yeah, I really don't know like what it's gonna be for this next season. But I really hope their episodes are like, the same time, like 50 minutes or 55. But I like that this last episode was like an hour and 17 minutes. That's what I liked about it. Because like it shows that they're taking their time with it, like no matter how long it is. But yeah, and then like seeing them like go from little babies to like boys with puberty, with their voices changing,
tweens.
Yeah, and then like it was like going like showing like little pictures and like flashbacks of like season 1 and then to like season 3, and it's just like, whoa, they like changed so much. Like Will was like a little baby. But yeah, so that was the spoiler reviews today for Stranger Things 3. So I hope you guys liked the review discussion and like our likes and dislikes and everything. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. And the next episode that I'm going to be making is going to be like the Halo 3 multiplayer pew pew. And then after that, maybe like more stuff, but like maybe like different games. So yeah, thank you guys for watching here on GliiderTV. And I will see you guys on the next video.
See you later.
Deuces.